So today we're going to Mesa Verde National Park, and because of the coronavirus, the visitor center is closed. And one of our favorite things to do before we go to any park is to watch the park film. Well, unfortunately, we can't go to the visitor center and do that. So instead, we're watching YouTube videos about Mesa Verde while we eat lunch and get ready to go. So actually, we're watching Adventure Archives, which is one of our favorite YouTube channels. It has been for a very long time. Abby and I used to watch these guys before we even started traveling. So we're gonna watch this video and then we're gonna head out. I'm ready. Oh, I should take the binoculars.
Yep, we need to get out of here. This is never gonna happen. We wanted to leave at 11:30 and it is now 12:20. This has a 50% chance of going well. Our kids are not super interested in this today. So we'll see how this goes. Either way, we're gonna do it though. We're gonna get it done.
Pro tip from the Eppersons: shut your water off every time you go. You don't want to come home to a water leak. So Mesa Verde has a cool visitor center. It's a really neat building that sort of just fits into the landscape right below that awesome butte that the light's just about to hit here. But of course it's closed due to the coronavirus. So we're gonna get out and check it out anyway, just because there's a really cool statue on the outside that we want to see, and the kids have their masks. I've got a mask too. Abby's got a mask so that we can safely social distance. We're gonna try to stay away from people as much as possible, of course, but better safe than sorry.
Junior Ranger booklets. Right here. What's nice is that they go ahead and attach the badge. So we'll just do our own little ceremony once the kids complete it. And then we grabbed a few for our friends.
What does it look like to you?
This one right here.
Maybe a tree?
Yeah, maybe a tree. But I do know what that one is. Mountains.
They have an area there for unhooking your trailer. If you're not camping in the park, you can put your trailer there and do this long scenic drive into the park without a trailer attached to you. I don't think you're allowed to take your trailer in if you're not camping in the park.
Cute little cricket.
Oh, I want that cricket.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Tax is a cool brand. Hello. Sure. 153.
It's a little bit different than the last time we were here.
So we checked out the park when we first arrived in this area, and they had just opened. They were handing maps out with a grabber stick.
Yeah.
And the ranger had a mask on last time. Now he had plexiglass in front of him,
Which is maybe sometimes better.
probably the
not,
same thing
you
as
know?
having a mask. So,
Probably.
but we wear a mask for their safety and for our safety. So the park is, obviously during the coronavirus, there are changes. And the primary attraction at Mesa Verde is the cliff dwellings. And the cliff dwelling tours are all not happening, and that's something that you'll find at national parks across the country, is that anything like that is going to be closed. Anything that just doesn't allow for social distancing.
Any ranger-led tour right now is closed.
So you can't go walk in the cliff dwellings yourself. So basically all you can really do is look at them from overlooks. But Mesa Verde is a big park, and there's lots of trails, and we're gonna go hike the Petroglyph Trail today, which unfortunately is like 25 miles into the park.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you like to drive.
It's a beautiful drive, though.
Yes, but we do need to be mindful because we have people that very easily get car sick.
That's so beautiful. Holy cow. So, we've been having some family moments on this hike. Some difficult times. But that's okay. Get through them. Happens a lot on hikes. Kids get restless. Kids don't want to hike. Even though they can play for 10 hours a day straight without coming inside. But I have to say, this is one of the coolest hikes we've ever been on. And they have really enjoyed like all the rock scrambles and the views and the sort of like, I don't want to call them caves, but sort of caved in areas of sort of rock overhangs. So, but boy, the views are fantastic. One of the best things about this hike so far is that it's kind of like, you're walking along steep drop-offs. It's one of those hikes where you're kind of hugging a cliff edge, but it doesn't feel dangerous because it doesn't seem like, you know, if you did fall, you roll a little bit. You're not going straight off the edge. So we haven't really felt too nervous about the kids so far. This is cool right here. And there's lots of these going in and around rock faces. It's cool. Little slots.
Back to what used to be home, passing by those little towns I know so well, stopping for gas and then I'm behind the wheel again. Driving is like a spiritual cleanse, where every mile is a new beginning and every bend holds a new end. Eyes on the road, don't lose control. I'm speeding fast to chase my soul. I'm driving to get away, running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go. I'm fighting another day. The neon lights in the fast lane light, riding high, reaching for the sky. I had it all but lost and fell back down again. Spent my time playing the game where every single day was a losing battle and every drink was a dead end. Eyes on the goal, don't lose control. I'm living fast, I've lost my soul. I'm driving to get away, running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go. I'm fighting another day.
Got it.
That was pretty cool.
Oh, that is not for people who physically can't do that. Go for it, bud.
How did I get caught? The walls are caving in. How come I
So, guys, I think what's happening is we're almost out of the canyon here. We're almost at the canyon rim. And then I think it's going to be a flat walk back to the museum area. Oh. Flat trail, flat gravel trail. Oh my goodness. What? We're back on top. Oh.
another day? Eyes on the road, don't lose control. I'm speeding fast to chase my soul. I'm driving to get away.
So I think we have something like 3/4 of a mile back on this nice flat trail with fantastic views. So if you do come do this and you don't want to do that whole section that we did, the majority of this hike, you could go the other way, just do the flat stuff, and you can get some stellar views. You could even get down to the Petroglyphs, but you'd have to climb down that part we just climbed up. I'd rather climb up it than down it, that's for sure. We have made it to the end. The end is the payoff. The end gets you, well, back to the museum area, but also back to the cliff dwelling. So we're gonna have a good view of it coming up right here.
Why do I feel so empty deep within? Where did I go wrong? Eyes on the goal, don't lose control. I'm living fast, I lost my soul. I'm driving to get away, running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting home where every mile is a new beginning and every bend goes a new end.
So while we wait for our Sonic, because there was no way we were going home and cooking food.
No, I mean, what do you do after you do a 3-mile hike that takes you 3.5 hours?
Oh boy,
You go to Sonic.
that was a really special hike.
It was.
But
It was.
but it was a difficult hike.
It's not like we just climbed Mount Everest. Let's put this into
But we always look at like
perspective.
the mileage, and it's always deceptive, you know, or it's often
Oh, yeah,
deceptive
this
to look at
is-
it. Oh, it's only 2.6 miles. Well,
Well, I
it's
can't
up and
be-
down and up and down
I
and up
don't-
and down and climbing some rocks and.
Yeah, so on this, which is the map you get when you come to the park, it says this teeny tiny little thing down here at the bottom about Petroglyph Point and Spruce Canyon trails. They're loop trails that lead to a petroglyph panel and through scenic wildlife habitat. Hikers must register at the trailhead. There's like no indication. Now, they also can give you a hiking sheet, which they gave us the last time, but I am not sure it says anything outside of moderate. I'm just not so sure that 2 years ago I would have done this with Henry,
Yeah.
because
Now-
I would have been wearing him on my back for the majority of the time, and boy, that would have gotten
That would have been
really tired.
rough.
One thing just to note about this for anyone who wants to do it is we didn't bring enough water, so we each had a water bottle. Mine was 20 ounce. The kids was around the same, maybe 32 ounces. You had
I had a 1 liter bladder.
It wasn't enough water. Not for this time of year.
Well, maybe we should have like drank a ton of water before we went.
Well, I think we were worried that people might have to pee.
Yeah, well, when
And
you
we
sweat
had-
it all out, you.
Yes. And, I mean, we all went to
So-
the bathroom, but still, just know that you might want more water than we brought along. And snacks are actually not allowed on the trail, and we learned that after the fact. So also just make sure that you are, you have enough energy to get through the hike.
So Henry was counting the yucca plants the whole way, and he wants to share how many he counted. How many?
There was
Henry.
roughly about.
You don't remember?
No, I do.
6, 7, 9.
679.
He counted
Yay!
679 yucca plants on that hike.
It was definitely not what we were expecting, but it was absolutely worth it. And the reward when you got to the petroglyphs was huge. And then that last little bit after the petroglyphs was probably the hardest part. And it did actually require us to find foothold and handholds to get up to the next part of the trail.
But all in all, one of the coolest trails we've ever been on.
I say it's the best trail I've ever been on.
Perhaps.
Anybody else feel like it's the most satisfying trail we've ever done? Yes.
That's great. So
Yeah.
Petroglyph Point, check it out. Now, as far as
I did this for
visiting a national park during coronavirus, it was a little more relaxed than the first time we visited Mesa Verde, which was right after they opened, and we didn't do any filming really. We just kind of were checking it out for a short afternoon. All the rangers were wearing masks then. They weren't this time. They were behind plexiglass at the entrance station. Everybody around the visitor center was wearing masks, as were we. But on the trails, it's hard because, obviously it's hard to hike with a mask on. And it is hard to stay away from people because you do pass people closely on a
Yeah.
trail, especially like this one. And perhaps we should have been putting our masks on when we passed people.
It's really hard to navigate this and figure it out. You have to live and learn. And I would say that the next time we would have our masks more readily available, as in could quickly be put on. But
We did try to stay away. It's like, keep the 6 foot or
Just
more
a second,
separation,
Henry.
but it was hard.
But when your trail is
Yeah.
this big, and you're trying to get off to the side here, and they're coming along here, and there's also some steep drop-off parts. You don't want to.
This big.
Well, I'm talking if we were teeny tiny people. These are teeny tiny people walking through. It's hard. You have maybe a foot or two of distance between you and the person coming by, but everyone just passes by quickly. There wasn't a lot of talking, but again, there was a whole lot of different strokes for different folks happening on the trail today. Henry really has something he would like to share.
Oh, I have something
Daddy,
first.
no.
Let Henry go first, please.
My question is, can you answer his question?
Yes.
Except for the ranger at the front. He wasn't wearing a mask.
No, but he was behind plexiglass.
And there was also that
So there's like a big glass in front of
And there
him.
was also the ranger at the visitors.
I was surprised that the ranger at the visitor
I was
center was not wearing a mask.
Very
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, I think
Not
it's-
only was the ranger at the visitor center not wearing a mask, they were not at all social distancing to the people they were talking
Even though,
to. She
the other
was-
people were, she was like,
yes, she was like right up in everybody's business. Even on a day when I would have been like personal space, like before coronavirus, I still would have thought this ranger's like she's in my personal space. But a really cool thing is that I was really impressed with the way you get the junior ranger booklets.
so the junior ranger booklets come with the badge so that we can just do it with the kids and then give them the badge. It's
All
great.
right, this food needs to get here. I'm so hungry. All right, this was way more epic than we anticipated this day being, but it was a really, really cool day.
Mesa Verde is an awesome national park.
Yes.
One of the things that people talk about in our national parks group a lot on Facebook is like, should I go to Mesa Verde on my trip here that I've got planned out, or should I skip
Please
it?
do.
Especially right now with all the cliff dwellings closed, and it's absolutely worth it. It's
There's-
a beautiful
yeah.
park. It's a big park.
And you'll see plenty of cliff dwellings even from the hikes.
Yeah.
There's a whole section of the park we still have left to do. It's absolutely worth it. Any day in a national park is a good day.
Let's see.
Speeding fast, I chase my soul, I'm trying to get away. Running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go. I'm fighting another day. Heading back to what used to be home, where every mile is a new beginning and every bend goes to new end.